Hello, Stella.
Hi, Sandra.
Hi, nice to see you, and thank you for being here with me today.
Oh, thank you for inviting me. I mean, it's such a relief. It's the first time for me of this kind of video, of making it and sharing it. So yeah, it's kind of, I'm excited, I have to say. Yeah.
Let's make it a memorable one, shall we?
Yeah, definitely.
Awesome, awesome. Thank you once again. That's such a privilege, really. So I have a. I think we need to share the story how we met because I think it's really funny.
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
It's really, really funny. So just for the group in a nutshell, really. So Stella and I met through LinkedIn some months ago, right? And since then we have been pretty regular in terms of communicating with each other. But
Yeah.
basically when we connected, I was like, hi Stella, what's up? Long time no hear. I see you got married. So
You even asked me if I'm still in touch with people from our high school. So I was like, which high school? Like, in touch with whom? And then I told you I've never gotten married before, and this is my last name forever since I was born. And then you were like, oh my God, you're not that Stella. So yeah,
oops.
that's how we met, actually. Yeah. But it was a relief because your message in my LinkedIn messages was the first one in Croatian, so
Mhm.
I was relieved, because I could immediately reply. It wasn't any, like a bug or a spam or something. Like, no, it was in Croatian. Hi, how have you been? I haven't seen you since high school.
So
Yeah,
I like I had you married, I had you change your surname,
divorced.
in my
Yeah,
faces forever, right? And then like, oops, that's not that Stella.
yeah,
It's meant to be, it seems. It was definitely meant to be.
obviously, yeah.
Obviously. All right. So Stella, as until now, and for those who maybe don't know what's going to happen today, so in this group, I always give an opportunity to the members to have a chat with me, to introduce themselves, to share certain experiences, certain learnings, and just to make this whole group a bit more personalized. So Stella and I will have a bit of a chat today about her life, about what she does, and so on. So in advance, thanks everyone for watching. And I would also invite people to connect with you, Stella. I hope that's okay, right?
Yeah, absolutely, yeah.
I will put the link to your LinkedIn profile so that they can then connect with you. So let's start. Who is Stella?
Hi. Hi. Well, I'm Stella and I'm from Croatia. I'm 38 years old. And since I've been an entrepreneur for 9 months now, I started my own company last July after being a content writer for various clients for 4 years, over 4 years, I have to say.
Mm-hmm.
So I am a content creator, a content manager. I take care of the accounts for my clients. I suggest what kind of content they should use, how regular it should be. I do a full research for them about their competition. And it's something I really, really thrive in because it's a creative job from beginning to end. And it's very, very rewarding when you have clients that actually understand what you're saying. So that's me basically. I've done everything and anything ever since I was 20 because I finished college a little bit earlier than my peers. And ever since I was 20, I think I had approximately 19 or 20 jobs before I decided I wanted to work for myself. But it was in various industries, in various sections. So I kind of I've accumulated, let's say in that way, accumulated experience in customer service.
Mm-hmm.
I've called on behalf of my employers. I've called certain potential clients. So I kind of have that with me now today when I'm doing it for myself.
Mm-hmm.
I've tried to take the most important thing out of every job I've done to help me in my own way, in my own journey. So I don't see it as a bad thing that I've changed that many jobs and industries. I see it as a positive thing, as something I always can pick my brain on and go back to a certain job, how I felt, what was, how did I solve a situation back then and stuff like that. So in a nutshell, that's me. So yeah, I consider myself very creative and very proactive and very willing to do something. I never see, errands and things that need to be done as something that's weighing on me. I kind of see it as it has to be done. So, it's better to do them sooner or later. So I'm very proactive in general, not just in business, in life as well. So,
yeah. Yeah, and that also ties together with being disciplined, right? Because I mean, proactivity and discipline are kind of tied to each other, right? And
yeah,
like
exactly.
the smart discipline makes you be proactive and okay, let's do this thing. Nobody will do it. It's not gonna disappear, right?
Yeah, exactly.
When you say that you had a lot of jobs, right? And I also don't think that's a bad thing. I mean, who is there to judge if it's good thing or bad thing? The ultimate thing is what you do with it, right? But
Right.
I'm curious, is there any specific job maybe that you can think of at the moment or experience, right, that had the biggest influence maybe on you and also has helped you the most in what you're doing today?
Yeah, that was the last job before I started my own small business. I was working in an online fish market. It was a startup project, and my job was to take care of the marketing. They hired me actually to do Facebook and Instagram for them, but in-house, not like what I'm doing today for various clients. I do social media management, but they hired me just for them. So it was a startup, and well, it didn't work out, the business itself, because of them. They decided not to go forward with it. But in let's just say for Pula, that is a really small town in Croatia, to have an online fish market and to have actual orders placed within 2 weeks, first 2 weeks of me advertising on Facebook and Instagram, it was wow. It was something nobody expected even, nobody anticipated in 2 weeks for someone to order raw fish online in Pula. It's a small surrounding. The mentality is kind of close. It's like a really, really small town where everybody knows each other. So it was really hard, but I managed. So after they decided to close the company and they didn't want to move forward because it was too complicated, and they kind of imagined that I would do everything, but when they saw that I couldn't, they kind of backed up. But that was my stepping point. After that, I was thinking, why wouldn't I do that for various clients? Why wouldn't I do something I'm really actually good at? Because up until then, I didn't even know I was good at that. I'll be honest with you. I was just trying whatever was there. I would open a Facebook business page and I would just see which are the options. I've never done a course on that. I'm not an expert, far from it. But I saw that working with it and exploring and learning every day, that it had some impact. So basically, before I even opened a small company, I just called a couple of businesses in Pula to see if they would be interested. And they were, and I was like, that's a sign. I'll go forward with it. And that was my turning point. Believe me, before I started working for the online fish market, if someone would have told me that I would have opened my company like in a month after working with them, I would be like, no, you're crazy. Me? No way. But after that, something just clicked, and it was Corona time, and Corona time was, I saw positivity in that, because I'm not really social. So those kind of measurements, they literally forced on us, like no hanging out, no company, not large groups. It kind of worked for me because at that time I was finally, peaceful, and everything was like I always imagined. Like I would have my peace and I would have my solitude and I could think clearly. So in that, all of that kind of had an impact for me to just decide and go with it. And I haven't regretted like for a second since then. So
that's amazing. Wow. Like, wow, right? It was a big, huge decision, right? In a very short period of time. Like, why not? And you went in it, right? Amazing. Now, just, I heard you mentioning, right, you're not that social.
Yeah.
I'm wondering, how do you benefit, or how do you turn that into an advantage in your business, right? Because being a content writer, being creative, being able to kind of approach so many people, etc., but at the same time kind of liking to have your own space, and so how does that work? I'm curious to hear about
it actually works. It's proven to be a good thing, I have to say, because I see my clients, and I'll just tell you my first meeting with my first client, which I really respect. We have been working since the first day, even today, and I really respect him. He owns a local pizza shop,
Mhm.
and it's a great relationship. I would actually want all my clients to be like that. So we've met for the first time. He told me on the phone that he's not really interested, but yeah, sure, I can listen to you for a couple of minutes. And going there, I was sure it was going to be bad. It was going to be a negative answer on his part. So I was convinced nothing was going to happen. I was convinced I was going to be done in 10 minutes. Hour and a half we talked, but only because of the first sentence. So he asked me, how would I bring a certain specialty that he used to have on his menu, and he was the first one with it, but then nobody was interested in that specialty. Let's say that way. And another restaurant started with that meal, and everybody's raving about it. So he asked me, how would you bring back that dish on my menu, but not make it that we're copying them? And I just blurted out instantly, because you asked for it, we're bringing back blah, 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 that dish. And he was amazed. He just stood there and he was like, I see what you did there. Okay, let's continue. And we started talking, and after hour and a half, he told me he would have wanted to talk to me still, but he had, some things to do in the kitchen. So we stayed in touch, and he liked it. And I always tell them, the fact that I'm not a team player works better, because you don't want a team to take care of your business. Because I look at your business as my own, so I will take care of everything. But if you have a team, and if you have you have employees that are working till 4 comes 4:05, they don't think about you. They go home, they think, oh, my life and not me. At 9 p.m. he gets a message about a certain delivery or something. I answer to that. So they like that. Most of them like that. The fact that they don't have, they would call me, why isn't this working, or why isn't this delivered? I have no one to blame, only myself. So it's a full responsibility job, and I like that. I don't want to depend on anyone else. Recently I had an interview with a company, and they asked me about being a team player, and I was honest. In my really vast experience, teamwork means that not everybody in the team knows everything as well, and it always kind of comes back to me doing everything and taking care of everything, and it's not fair. It's not teamwork then. So I told them I'm not a team player. I really like having the full responsibility on every project, and I hope they appreciated it, because it was honest. But clients like that, because I'm always the only person they talk to. They don't talk to 3 people and they tell them, cliches like, we'll get back to you and stuff. There's none of that. So I think they kind of like it. Yeah.
I think it also very much depends, right? Like, also what kind of team we are talking about, right? Like, let's say if you were a part of a bigger project, right, and you bring your set of expertise, another person brings their set of expertise, right? So it, like, you form them then a team, and then you work towards the same goal. Maybe on that aspect, it would, like, in that situation, it would be different kind of way of looking as a team at this team structure, right? Whereas if you're looking from a point of content creation, like, from what I understood, right, like, you like to be in charge of the overall kind of delivery ideas, and so, rather than have a couple of people that might even kind of interfere, and maybe not be on the same page.
Exactly, yeah. And especially, if you have an account where a client wants social media management, wants the blog, and wants everything, he wants the same lingo in all that content. So the phrases. And what I do with all my clients, online or in face-to-face, I like talking to them about life, because then I get a better feeling of their conversation, of their vocabulary, of what they would use, of the way they want to express themselves. Because honestly, as a content creator, I can write in any style you want. But when I'm writing for someone, and when I'm presenting someone on their Facebook page or on their blog, I like people to think that they wrote it themselves, That's the point. I am just the man behind the mask, behind the machines, behind the curtain, and nobody needs to know who wrote that, as long as they're satisfied. But I do like that personal touch, when you can feel that it's not a bot that's writing something, that you can actually respond and, you know, make a reaction. Yeah. So
yeah, I agree with that so much. You know, I mean, I also remember back in the day when I started my business, and when I started obviously doing research, and a lot of, you know, I heard about content creators, creators
yeah.
and so on. And I was always wondering, like, how can they know how I speak and how I would like to write? And
Yeah.
in fact, a lot of times you see what you just mentioned, right? Like somebody writing in a certain style, then you get on the phone with the person and you're like, are you the same person? Like, who am
Exactly.
I
Yeah.
talking with? And that's disappointing in a way sometimes,
Yeah.
isn't it?
It is. Yeah. But it can be,
Yeah,
because you kind of expect something. You build a picture in your head, a clear picture, and then everything just, you know, falls down. So
yeah,
yeah, it can be. It can be even. How do you say? Not defective, but deceiving. It can be
yeah,
deceiving.
yeah,
Yeah.
exactly,
Yeah.
exactly. So how does it work, right? Like with that in mind, how does it work? Let's say you have someone who's interested in working with you, maybe even someone from the group is interested in hiring a content writer. So just if you can tell us a bit, how would that work with you? How would you go through that screening process, and how would you decide if you're actually a right fit?
Okay. For example, the last client that said yes to my offer,
Mhm.
he is in the construction
Mhm.
industry. So he's actually doing, you know, those the glass. I'm not really sure how do you say that in English at the moment, but you know, when the whole wall of the house is in glass and they slide. I don't know the exact.
Sliding doors, sliding glass.
Probably, yeah, sliding glass doors. Yeah, you even have the smart ones today. They adjust the lighting, and you know, it's fascinating.
Mhm.
So he called me. He told me what's his industry, and we've met. And he couldn't believe at the end of the conversation that I've never done anything in that industry, because I did a full research. That's the best thing about my job, I have to say. I really love learning,
Mhm.
and actually I have a degree in investigative journalism,
Oh.
so kind of just, you know, goes on.
Mhm.
So I like investigating, and when he told me what's his business, I did a full research. I researched companies in the area, companies in Europe, because he wants to go abroad and, you know, expand. So I investigated what they do, how often they post, how long are their blogs, if they have blogs, are the blogs regular, what do they do, how do they attract people, what is their call to action, well, what is their call to reply from people that visit their sites. So I kind of get their lingo, and what they do, how they promote, what they emphasize, what they try to hide. There's always that in
Mhm.
business. And so I do that full research, and when I meet with a client, I tell them what they could do. I tell them which social media is appropriate. Like, for example, for him, I wouldn't suggest Instagram. I would suggest LinkedIn, because there's more possibilities to create professional and business relationship. If he was, for example, if he were doing t-shirts, I would go with Instagram, because nothing better than visual for that kind of social media. So I do research, where would it be best, how long should be the posts, which are the keywords, how do they attract clients, and I just give them my offer, and that's it. And usually they are very, all of them think that they can manage it with their business.
Mhm.
And I'm still looking for a perfect client who will say, no, I want my time to do my business, and you can take care of my business. But they all think they can do it in the beginning. Sooner or later, they realize they can't. So that's where I fit in. And then my whole offer and my whole story makes much more sense to them. They're willing to say yes more if they try themselves. So I always encourage them. I always say, please do try yourself. If you need any hand, I can help you. But they realize soon enough that, you know, they cannot manage that as well. So
Mm.
that's how it works usually.
Yeah. Wow. And I mean, from just what you mentioned, it sounds like you are, even before actually starting working with someone, you are already so invested in their business. I mean, it takes
Yes.
a lot of time, right, to prepare.
Yeah, and honestly, I don't charge that because you never know. For example, I could charge it, and there are people I know in my business that do that, but they're mostly agencies, and I always try to separate myself from the agencies with the individual approach. Every single client is different. Even if I had two restaurants, I was taking care of their business pages or anything, I wouldn't do the same schedule. I wouldn't do the same visual type of visuals. You know what I mean? It has to be individual, so you can differentiate it from a company that has a huge marketing section, you know, and does huge things. Because you can separate a smaller company from, let's say, Lidl, which is a huge company, and they have probably in every city they have a marketing department. But the smaller companies, kind of, I expect them to be more personal, you know, likable, approachable, and that's what I tend to do. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, every business is different, just like every person
Yes.
is different, and it's very important to bring this character and personality of a business out there, right? And you cannot do that
Absolutely.
if you're copy pasting. It just doesn't
Yeah.
work that way. Is there any like I mean, obviously bringing new clients, right, and working, but who would be maybe clients that you wouldn't want to work with? Are there any maybe, or any situations you were in where you were like, oh no, thank you, I'm not getting into this?
Well, recently I had a really bad experience with a client. I even wrote about that on LinkedIn. When is it okay not to reply to a message, even if it's business? Because before I would dread not answering a message, or even letting them see that I've seen it. Oh, the horror! But now I'm kind of more relaxed because I don't the clients I don't like and I would never like to work with are those who have absolutely no respect for what I do. And when they call me and they ask me to sit down and scribble a couple of words, my hair just goes, I just go up in flames because I'm not scribbling, and that by all means that is not what I'm doing. Even if it is a short description of 20 words, for example, and it seems so simple to someone, they have to know it's real. What takes it's the professionality that it was done with.
Yeah.
That's why it looks so simple. So I don't like people who belittle my work, who don't respect what I do, and the ones that lack some kind of business culture. I don't know how to really put my finger on it, but for example, recently I've received a message from a client, well, now a former client, 5:48 a.m. I received a message that wasn't even meant for me, but it was forwarded to me, and it mentioned me in the third person, and he commented on my work to someone else. Now, where I come from, that is not okay. That I'm still saving that message just, because I really want it saved, because I cannot believe someone actually allowed themselves to do that. And I just have to say, he is the manager of one of the big companies in Croatia. So but it was for his own personal project. It wasn't for that company. He has apartments that he rents out during summer. So I was kind of promoting his apartment. But the fact is that he shouldn't have done that. And I would never expect that from anyone. So those kind of people, who really don't respect you, who are willing to forward that kind of message, because he did forward it to me at 5:48 a.m. He wanted to know that he wasn't satisfied with what I was doing, but he could have told me, because in that way first thing I would say is, okay, what do you want? What do you think we could do if you want to continue? I'm not backing up from my responsibilities. If I've done something wrong and somebody says, who did that? I'm the first one to say I did it, because, why not? Everybody can make a mistake, but that is not something you do. So yeah, basically clients who don't respect the nature of my work, I don't want to work with them. Or people that I know, probably if I would hear that somebody sometimes molested animals or people or stuff like that, I really wouldn't want to work with them.
Yeah, of course. I mean, it's to have obviously certain standards. I mean, the reason why I asked is because obviously, I mean, I also worked with a lot of people who are, building their business or have found themselves in this entrepreneurial world, right? And especially at the beginning, in the first couple of months, maybe to the first year or so, oftentimes people kind of are afraid maybe to say no. I mean, of course, in big instances, some that you mentioned, of course you will say no, right? But just this idea of kind of being afraid of losing on certain clients, or maybe not kind of niching down enough, or something, just having this idea, oh, you know, where will my next client come from? So let me say now yes to this one, just to make sure. So the bottom line, right, is important to set certain values and standards in your business, in your life, and so, right, they're absolutely non-negotiable, right? And that's so
absolutely, I agree with you 100%. And it is hard, I have to say. There are moments where you have no idea where the next client is going to come from. You send offers all day long and nothing's coming back and everything, but I still wouldn't like myself working with the people, you know. So I'm thinking it's better to have a clear mind, peace in here, and, you know, a sound sleep, than to roll and toss in your bed all night, not being able to sleep, not being able to focus on all of your clients, because I manage all of them at the same time. So there's no room, and I like that. There's no room for me to feel to take something personal, they said, because oh my God, my whole day would go just me thinking, oh, why did I do that? Why did he say that? No, nothing personal. Business is business. So whatever needs to be done, you do it, and that's it. You know, so whatever I promise to my clients, I really, really try to make it, you know, realize it for them. And I would never promise something I'm not really sure I can do. So
and I mean, just being honest, being straightforward, what you said as well, right? Like if you don't like something, say it. And that goes both for your client and for yourself, right? And that's why it's so very important to set certain expectations, certain goals, certain kind of rules at the very beginning, because if you don't have that solid foundation, sooner or later is gonna come back at you, sooner or later. Is it in work, at work? Is it in your romantic relationship, friendship, partnership, whatever, right? It's okay, that sounds all very, very like a lot going on. And I mean, well done for having brought your business to such a level in a rather short time, right? It's not even a year.
Not even a year. Yeah, exactly. And it's a shock for me too, especially because you and I chatted earlier, I mean a month ago or something, before you're Florida, and you told me, don't worry, your business is fine because you're only open for 9 months. And then I was thinking, right, only 9 months. Why am I have the highest expectations of myself, you know, not even my boyfriend, my partner, he's my partner in everything. Like he always tells me, but you do so much. And I just tell him, I don't feel like it's enough, but you do so much. It just goes on and on, because I really want to be successful. And you know what else helps? Examples. I've seen so many examples of bad marketing, bad advertising. Even before I was in digital marketing, I would notice commercials on TV and I would be like, what did they say? How can they say that? You know, stuff like that. It would stay with me. So basically, most of them told me that within first 2 minutes, they realized that I know what I'm saying, I know what I'm talking about. And then it's a relief for them, because you're always afraid, oh my God, what is she going to say? How much is she going to charge me? Who knows what abbreviations she's going to use? Because some of them even told me they would go to an agency beforehand, before talking to me. And the agency would be like PPT, PPC, PPM, and you're confused. You have no idea. And then I told them, you know why they do that? Marketers invent abbreviations because we're not respected enough. So, you know, you have to do something, but I tend to simplify it for them. And I really, really like talking to them about business like it's something really simple, without any conversion rate. Or I tell them, people that visit your site, I don't say conversion rate, you know. So that kind of approach also makes it easier.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, if you start speaking in your language, nobody will understand you. And if people don't understand you, they will not buy from you. As simple as that, right? You need to speak their language. It's like, you know, when you go to the doctor and then write, you need to do this, and you're like, English, please, or Croatian, or whatever language, just like, what are all these words, right? It's
yeah, exactly.
So what would you say so far? Because I mean, entrepreneurship is very attractive, right? A lot of people have this idea being an entrepreneur is like, wow, and amazing. And of course it is, but there is always a flip side to everything, right? So what would you say maybe in these 9 months has been this flip side to a great life of an entrepreneur, but what was maybe not so great?
Not so great. Probably the worst thing is the mentality just in general here in Croatia, because since I was, I'm small, I'm the only one employed in my company. So I was looking for local businesses, but they tend to advertise massively during summer, while it's, the summer season from March to October, and that's it. And then they tell you, I don't need you anymore. And that was a bad side. This winter was kind of, not so great, but that's due to the mentality. So what I was thinking in the winter days, that's why I even started LinkedIn, and I've always had it, but I was never active. Started LinkedIn and similar projects because I want to expand abroad, because I understand that people outside of lines of Croatia understand this business better and respect it more. They know what it entails, what it takes to write a really good SEO blog article. So they really respect that. So that's why I wanted to expand and just, that's the beauty of this work. You can invent a service, literally. Like, it doesn't have to be an ad, it can be just the visuals for the ad. So if they like the way you do visuals in your, I don't know, Canva or Adobe, whatever you use, uh, they will call you for visuals next time. They will do that. I have a client who I've done the Facebook page for him for months, but then he decided that he doesn't want to update it anymore that often. So we kind of stopped working there. But every time he needs proofreading, or every time he needs an ad or something like that, he would call me. So it's not always the same. Every day can be different, and you never know where they come from. For example, last weekend I was at the birthday party, and at 1 a.m. was rather tipsy, but 1 a.m. I got a message that if I could proofread, I don't know, it was 20 pages in English for someone until Wednesday. I was like, yeah, sure, just send it to me in my email. I can flip that, I can do that, just turn into business mode when I need to, and I come back. So I did that, and I kind of made a deal at 1 a.m. on a Saturday. But if you asked me on a Wednesday, I was kind of sad because there was not much to do last week. So you never know. And that's what I love. I really love it. And sometimes if you believe in the universe and the way of the universe, if you know that if you ask something, you will get a reply. It kind of, when you look at it from, from afar, it looks like everything happens for a reason at a certain time, and it was just meant to be that way. So there's never any real need to stress or worry where the next client is coming from. It's just, I just want to be good at my job, so whenever someone needs, someone else would think of me. And I never say no to clients. I can always rearrange my schedule, because I know what happens if you say no. If you say no without any explanation, if I can't do a project, I will say I can do it, but not within the time frame that you asked me. I can do it from then to then. But if you say no, they will find someone else. They will do that in 10 minutes, and you can kiss goodbye, with them. So I don't want to do that. I really want to be in the loop all the time.
So how does that work now? Because I know we touched that before we actually recorded this video, etc. But we spoke a bit about that, right? Being always in the loop. How do you manage to maintain that, but also have kind of your life, outside of work? Because I know that can be tricky with being, in a loop, right?
It is tricky. Yeah, it is tricky. And sometimes I feel like business is the only thing in my head. But I really love it. I just, when we were talking, I mentioned Chris Cicconi's post where I commented that he said that he likes the routine and that it helped him balance work life now that he's remote. But routine doesn't work for me. A routine really makes me feel bored doing something. If I have a certain schedule, by 11 I have to finish this, I would feel pressured, I would feel stressed. This way, blending my life with my work makes me feel like I'm never working for real at all. It makes me, I don't know how to make this more clear in a short time, but being a creative, I don't like suits. I don't like tied up clothes or, dark colors and stuff like that. Being a creative, I really like being myself at every moment. So when I go to meet my clients, I do wear green nail polish, or I don't know, because that's what I like. And they all tell me that you can feel that I'm comfortable. You know, they feel I'm comfortable wearing what I'm wearing. They know I'm a creative. They don't expect a suit. So I really like that, because you never know. 3 months ago, I ordered a couple of t-shirts for my parents, you know, printed with their cat. And I came to pick those t-shirts up, and I started chatting with a girl, and she asked me, "Oh, so what do you do?" And I told her what I'm doing. And now I'm helping her write Facebook posts. So you never know. You never know when you're gonna meet a new client. But if you always feel comfortable, look comfortable, what you say might resonate with them better than when you don't feel like yourself, or, you know, when you can, it's palpable, you can feel it.
Absolutely. And you wouldn't perform as well had somebody put you in a box, in another box, right, and suit you up or whatever. That's not you anymore, and you cannot relax and be creative anymore, right?
Exactly.
So it's very important. And what we actually talked about, right, like routine or not routine, or structuring your day or whatever, there is no one thing fits all. It doesn't exist, right? You have to find what works for you. Maybe not the whole day planned out, but certain things in your day kind of to anchor from, you know what I mean? Or whatever, you make it in your own way. Otherwise it's not you anymore. And sooner or later,
Exactly.
you're going to start kind of, you know, burning from inside, like, no, enough.
Yeah.
No, that's great. And it's so very, very important to build your business, your life, your anything in your own way, right?
Like I said once, I even commented once on a post on LinkedIn. It took me ages to find out what my perfect working environment is, and how I'm supposed to feel, and what the things are supposed to be like. And I'm not willing to compromise that for anything now, because that environment brings results. It brings results in short time. And what I even forgot to mention earlier when we talked about teamwork, why I don't feel like a team player, because I am extremely fast. All my clients, especially one that I'm working with 4 years now, she's from Slovenia, and her company hires me regularly to write blogs. They send massive orders. Like now I have 9 articles till Friday. They know I can do it. They ask me if I can do it by Friday. It's no problem. So I am extremely fast. I am so detail oriented. You'll never see a little mistake or something, like, because I go through everything 20 times. And if you have a team, you can't guarantee the whole team will do the same. That's what I always want, you know, just for them to know that I take care of every single minutia like it was my own. And that's the difference between, you know, having a content creator who is the sole content creator designated for your content, or having a bunch of people coming and going. You know, if they go on a holiday, they don't even think about your account and stuff like that. But I am always here. I'm always, you know, alert, and I'm always aware of what's going on. Yeah.
And I think everyone who is watching this video will agree that you really love what you do. I mean, I can feel it, you know, it's like passion. And that's beautiful. And that again reflects in your work. And that's why you are so invested in it. And I think it should be like this, right? Like in general, if you're at work, you should be, maybe, you know, not to the point that you don't sleep and think only about work, right? Depends again, but you need to have this spark, right? You need to have this spark in your eyes when you talk about your business, and you definitely do. And that's beautiful.
Oh,
it's really beautiful. I feel like we could go on and on and on and on. It's just, I think we will need to do volume 2 to this video. And by the way, I would never say that you never did this before.
really?
True about that?
You'll see later on. I've noticed I've been waving a lot with my hands. I even did this. I've never seen that in other professional videos. So this is really my first video. I'm very, very camera shy. Very extremely, I know you wouldn't say, but it's true. I am very camera shy, and I don't know how to act. I still don't understand how people do selfies in front of the mirror, because I've tried every which way and they never work out for me. So I'm really camera shy, and I'm so thankful you invited me to do this, because this is like the biggest step out of my comfort zone this year. And I hope it just goes, you know, over the top, because I really would love to step out of my comfort zone and be a little bit more social and a bit more, you know, with understanding with the people and everything. So this is the first step this year, and I hope it just goes on and on.
For sure. It's a huge step. And again, right, being more social, but again, in your own way, right?
Yeah, my terms, yeah.
Exactly. And that's definitely not probably about doing selfies in the mirror, etc. I mean, some people do that and it's great. If it works for them, if it makes them happy, great.
Perfect, yeah.
Right, it doesn't resonate with me, it doesn't resonate with you. I mean, to tell you really, like, now actually like a secret, right? When I started doing videos back in anyway, like a year ago or more than that, I remember first videos of mine, I would spend like 45 minutes, literally 45 minutes recording a 2-minute video. And then after some time, I was like, what am I doing? You know, what am I doing? I was like, is my background perfect? Am I looking perfect? Is this perfect? Did I say this word in exactly that moment? And I was like, that's not me. That's absolutely not me, you know?
Exactly, yeah.
And who will I attract by doing that as well? Some, you know, like, no, I'm you know, and more you do, more you actually realize I don't need to be good for everyone because nobody's good for everyone, right?
Exactly, yeah.
But you need to be able to sleep like peacefully in the evening, what you mentioned before, and that's the most important.
It is, yeah.
And then you attract those people as well, right?
Exactly, yeah. The energy just, you know, attracts everything that looks like you, thinks like you, and works like you, and then things just start rolling.
Yeah.
That's what happens. Yeah, but you really have to be comfortable with what's going on and with what you present. Yeah.
And that takes, of course, right, what you're presenting, what value you're bringing, and also it takes practice, right? Everything takes practice. Now, I know we both have a meeting after this, so just to kind of wrap up, and there will definitely be volume 2 to this, or part 2, right?
Okay.
Before we close, what's on your mind maybe that you would like to offer to the group, or something that you would like to ask from the group?
Okay, I really thought about that when you said it, and I would ask the group anything I feel at a certain moment but I couldn't think of anything at this point. I even told you it's been hard for me a couple of last days, so I really wasn't thinking about that. But be sure, when I do need help, I am there. I will ask. But what I wanted to offer, I realized in communicating with people on LinkedIn, especially other content creators, they ask me for help for, I don't know, how to start, what to do, how was my beginning, what would I do here or what would I do there. So I just wanted to offer, honestly, from the bottom of my heart, to everyone in the group, if they ever needed any, for instance, what we talked about, an explanation, or how would the process of a certain step I described go, or how do I do my research, or whatever they would need. I am here and I can answer all your questions. Just recently, I discussed it with, I can't remember his full name, but I discussed it, how I started with someone else, and they want to be a blogger as well. So it really isn't hard. It's really simple. There's even a Google Digital Garage, which everybody can learn from there. There are millions of courses, and some of them are even for free, and you can get a cert for a certain, branch of digital marketing and business. So I'm really here to help everyone that wants to make it in this business, because everybody can do it. If I made it happen for me, I'm sure everyone else can. But another thing is that there will always be need for writers and for content creators. So there is so much business for every one of us. I don't even think of my peers as competition. Like we can help each other. So what I do for local marketing agencies, I usually outsource my services as well. If they have an urgent order, I am there, I can help. Same here for the group. Okay, if they have any questions, they can all contact me whenever. I haven't been that busy or active on LinkedIn, but I've been available in my DMs, as you know. I answer to all my messages, so I would offer a hand in whichever aspect of my business they need. For those who want to start, for those who already started but don't know how to go on, whatever. If I can help, I'm here. That's what I just wanted to offer to the group.
That's lovely. That's like, thank you so much for that, Stella. And of course, I also invite you, right, if there is any kind of maybe an article or any idea that you would like to share, you can also post it in the group as well.
Okay.
You know, any learning, anything you think would be beneficial. And as you said, right, like writing is so powerful. And even if you don't do it for as a work, right, we all know that journaling, for example, is a great practice to incorporate in your everyday life. So maybe even some ideas from your side. I know that a lot of people want to journal, but they're not sure how to start, what to do, how to maybe structure, you know, so maybe even there you could give some tips and tricks.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I could think about it. I was doing that for a client of mine, but we stopped with that part of the project. But yeah, journaling, it is fun and it seems a lot of fun. It's the hardest thing is to start.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So maybe
definitely.
actually is a great idea. Maybe if you want to write like a short post in the group, I need to approve it, but it's just because I don't know how to change. But anyway, like you can write it, and then I will be happy to post it in a group, just like some ideas as to how to start journaling, etc. I'm sure that's going to be valuable to many because I have spoken to a couple of members about the journaling. So I
Okay.
would like to read about it too, of course. Absolutely.
Great. Yeah, sure. I can do that. Yeah. I will do that as soon as possible.
Oh, please, I know you have 9 articles to write, right? Blogs. So
Yeah.
no pressure.
That's okay. That's okay. I really I was expecting that and I like that. I really like the fact that they never send 2 or 3. It's 9 minimum every time. And I love that client. You know, it's just when you feel appreciated completely, you would always work for them. So 9 articles in 3 days, it's a piece of cake for me.
Like, yeah, let's do it.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And also for all the people that want to be writers in the group, I just want to let them know that you don't have to have a creative side to be a successful writer. I realize that a lot of companies are struggling with their emails correspondence, for example. Emails correspondence doesn't really require for you to be creative. It kind of requires you to be punctual and, direct and succinct. So it's not, content creation doesn't have to be a creative process. It can be something that you've done for a certain someone, for an employer for 10 years and you didn't even know that you have it, all in your small finger, like all at one place. You can always do that kind of mail. So yeah, and people who give advice as well, don't do that for free anymore. I just told my sister the other day as well, like I really can help you with the business ideas as well. So, if you have a knack for something or you're really good at something, but you don't know how to realize it or make a business out of it, let me know. I can help. I really can.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
At least we have a chat to see, right, if you're on the same page and then decide if and how you want to work together. I mean,
if it's necessary, if all they need is, someone to put their idea in the words, I'm here. That I can do that for you. Yeah, for sure.
I mean, every chat, I like to always think and I always say that, right? Like you never know that, what one word that someone says to you can change your life. It can literally change your life. So why not? We should definitely all be open to meeting people, to talking to people. And I mean, also now after just this conversation, just after this amazing conversation, right? We are both richer.
Thrilled.
Right?
Yeah. Yeah.
And again, I really want to thank you for your time, Stella. Thanks once again.
You too.
And we definitely speak soon again. All right.
I hope so. I really hope so. I feel like we didn't finish anything.
Right. It's like we didn't continue, but pity we have meetings now. Next time we have like all day conversation.
I know. Yeah. But you know what? This will make me better at my next meeting for sure. Because like you said, I feel recharged and I feel like, okay, I'm back in business, So thank you once more. Thank you so much. And I really, really appreciate it. And of course, can't wait for the part 2.
Yeah, absolutely. To be continued.
Yes.
So then I'll talk to you soon. Bye-bye.
Bye. Thank you.